Now, I didn't think I'd be saying this so early on in the season, seeing Havertz score 2 goals in the first 3 games, but the hate around Havertz from a lot of Arsenal fans that actually criticize Kai Havertz, it's really getting annoying because a lot of their criticism comes on the fact that Kai Havertz apparently misses 3 shots before he scores one, he's not clinical in front of goal, he's not a good enough goal scorer, and we should have got ourselves a world-class striker. Now, I made a video a while ago saying that Kai Havertz is our man moving forward, that I believe in him as a starting striker because, I mean, towards the end of last season, if we can just replicate that form throughout a full season, well, Kai Havertz scoring 20 Premier League goals in one season would not be unrealistic at all, and we've seen that already, scoring 2 goals in 3 games. But I didn't think that I'd be sitting here at the start of the season after 3 games, seeing him score 2 goals. I didn't think I'd be sitting here saying that from what I've seen over Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, social media, what have you, that Kai Havertz, out of all the Arsenal players, Kai Havertz is the one getting the most hate by Arsenal fans. Now, hate is a strong word, it's probably more just disapproval or just mentioning his flaws, but I didn't think that Kai Havertz is the one that deserved that. I thought Kai Havertz had a really good start against Wolves, beautiful finish against Brighton, and I thought he has been playing pretty well and isn't the one to blame for our draw against Brighton. So the fact that we'd be sitting here criticizing Kai Havertz out of everyone else, well, that has kind of surprised me, and I thought in today's video I need to stand up for Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz right now is arguably becoming one of my favorite players in the Arsenal team. I made a video when we signed him last year saying that if Arteta could find a role for Kai Havertz is a good enough player, has good enough qualities to succeed in this Arsenal team. Did I fully believe that he'll be as good as he is right now? No, but I thought he would be a decent enough player. But Kai Havertz to me has been far better than most people give him credit for, and in today's video I feel like I have to point that out. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, first things first, I need to talk about the biggest thing that everyone talks about with Kai Havertz. He's not clinical in front of goal. That's what everyone says. That's what everyone leads with. Okay, he scored 13 Premier League goals last season in the league, but he's not clinical enough in front of goal. But I have some stats to prove that wrong. This season, obviously 2 goals in the first 3 games for Kai Havertz from an XG of 1.5. Last season, he got 13 Premier League goals from an XG of 12.3. Meaning that his first 2 seasons at Arsenal so far, he has overperformed his XG ever so slightly, and the only time he's ever underperformed his XG in his whole career was during his 3 seasons at Chelsea. When you compare that to someone like Erling Haaland, who last season underperformed his XG by 2 goals, when you compare that to someone like Joselu, who had an amazing season with Real Madrid last season, but again underperformed his XG. When you compare that to Dominic Solanke, who has been a consistent underperformer of XG, it surely puts a little bit of perspective into Kai Havertz's season last season and his start to this season. Now, this is not me saying that Kai Havertz is a world-class finisher, he's an elite finisher, he's better than Erling Haaland. I'm definitely not saying any of that. What I am saying is that the main criticism that I see Kai Havertz get is that he's not a good enough finisher in front of goal. Yet his stats prove exactly the opposite. Outside of his Chelsea stints, he's never underperformed his XG, and I think we all know that Chelsea stint he was not at his best for several different reasons, and a lot of those reasons were kind of outside of his control. Kai Havertz statistically is a much better finisher than people give him credit for, and so far in his time at Arsenal has always overperformed his XG. And outside of being a good enough finisher, that's how I would kind of say Kai Havertz is. He's a good enough finisher. Yes, he misses chances here and there, but statistically he has proven that he makes up for that by eventually scoring his goals. But outside of his finishing, Kai Havertz still ranks really highly with all his underlying numbers. Against forwards, Kai Havertz brings so much to this Arsenal team. He ranks in the 93rd percentile in tackles for strikers. He ranks in the 97th percentile in interceptions for strikers. He ranks in the 83rd percentile in blocks, the 82nd percentile in aerial duels won. He ranks in the 84th percentile in passes attempted, the 92nd percentile in pass completion percentage, ranks in the 74th percentile in assists. He ranks in the 82nd percentile in shot creating actions. He ranks in the 57th percentile in non-penalty goals against all other strikers in Europe's top 5 leagues. Now, this is not me making a video saying that Kai Havertz is a world-class striker. He's a better finisher than Victor Gyökeres. He's not world-class, at least not yet. If he can maybe get 25 Premier League goals in a season, then we can maybe talk. But this is me making a video saying that Kai Havertz is so slept on by a lot of Arsenal fans that claim he isn't a good finisher, he isn't a good striker. Kai Havertz, outside of scoring 13 Premier League goals and getting 7 Premier League assists last season, Kai Havertz brings so much else to this team. defensively, playmaking wise, aerial duels. He brings so much more to this team than just scoring goals, but even on the goal scoring front, he is so much better than people give him credit for. This was another thing this summer that I kind of knew Arsenal would have to be very careful about, was getting ourselves another striker. I keep saying this, but it would have been awesome to have Victor Gyökeres leading the line, but under what context? How much would we have had to pay for him? And also, you must remember, not a lot of strikers nowadays could fit into this Arsenal team in terms of how we play. What Kai Havertz brings to us, not a lot of other strikers really do. Again, the defensive work that Kai Havertz brings to this team is so valuable at times, especially when you consider how many games we had to kind of scrape a win last minute. Creating 7 assists in the Premier League alone shows a lot of playmaking ability that, again, not a lot of strikers and good scorers have. You can't just go grab any striker that's really good at finishing and put them in this Arsenal team and expect them to play the same way Kai Havertz does off the ball. Kai Havertz is very important to the way we defend, the way we play, and outside of scoring goals, Kai Havertz is so crucial to this Arsenal team. But then even scoring goals, scoring 13 Premier League goals, overperforming your XG last season, but people are still going to say that he misses 3 shots and only scores 1 when he overperforms his XG on a consistent basis outside of his Chelsea stints. Kai Havertz is so slept on, he's so hated on by mainly Arsenal fans, and I can't wait to hopefully see, fingers crossed of course, Kai Havertz maybe get 20 Premier League goals this season.